So my name is Nathaniel. I manage the enterprise collaboration suite at IT. One of the systems that we manage is, of course, is Microsoft 365, and we offer a lot of different services to our state and the different agencies which are in our state. So my presentation over here is, of course, to talk about Copilot because that's what everybody is here about, but really to talk about the foundation of data and how data should be used when you're working with Copilot. So hopefully you guys can relate to this. And this is a collaboration journey. We have come a long way. We started all the way out from mailing people stuff. So if people have mailed people, written letters and collaborated, you have used that. Have used a telephone to dial people up, to collaborate and really talk about different things. And then we switched to email, which was more transactional. So today we use, a person today reads about 122 emails a day that they get. And it's overload of information, but that journey continues, right? Then we said, okay, email is not good enough. Let's start chatting people. Let's start instant messaging people. And we created more data. Then we said, that's not even enough. Let's turn on FaceTime and video so we can see each other while we are having this conversation. So now we are using video. And then we said, this is not even enough. Let's introduce, Microsoft said, we're going to do Teams. And not only we can see each other, we can collaborate with each other, we can communicate with each other, we can call each other and have meetings like this. And then we are now in the AI collaboration space. So the journey is going super fast. But what we are leaving out is that human element. So that's the reason for this conference, right? This is for that Innovation Day, is to keep the focus for the people who are using these tools. I'm an IT professional. I've been in this industry for a very long time. And when we talk amongst IT, we kind of geek out, right? And we talk about these tools. You can do this. Look, Teams, you can do this. You can chat. You can do fantastic things. But are people really understanding how to utilize this data? Are they using the proper tools to keep? So that is the focus of this. So if you go through these sessions, you'll see the sessions are divided into different tracks. And depending upon your track, maybe you're a productivity user, maybe you're a developer, or maybe you are creating a solution to really solving a business case. So these tracks are to really showcase that ecosystem for you, so you're using the right tool at the right time. The next one, just to show you a journey, some people can most likely relate to this. So when I started my career, I was a system engineer and worked in a data center with a bunch of servers. And then VMware came out and we started virtualizing stuff. And we said, and I took my CIO over there. We had racks and racks of servers. And we said, look, we have consolidated all these 3-4 data centers into these 2-3 different racks. And of course, now the scenario is different because we're building more data centers of more compute and so forth. But from a file storage perspective, we used to collaborate by using file shares. And then we said, okay, let's move all this information to the cloud so we can have this access to this information through any device. It doesn't matter if you're using a mobile device, if you're using your phone, if you have multiple devices, you can access the same information. And if you lose your device, you don't have to worry about it because everything is in the cloud. And that's what Microsoft 365 provides today. So what did we do? When we first started a job, we had this blank folder and we said, okay, I'm gonna create a folder called my projects and my reports and my departments. And we started putting stuff in there. But after a while, that information grew. And people just started saving information all over the place. Then search came out and said, wow, I can search everything. So if I have access to information, I can search it. I can find anything that I need. So permissions and data strategies and all of these things became super critical in the success of the journey. We literally moved people's cheese from file servers to OneDrive, and people lost their mind. They were like, oh my God, where's my stuff? And we said, oh, don't worry about it. You can search this. And they're like, oh my God, I can see the CIO's files. Where did this come from? But permissioning became very important. So our goal is to, when you're looking at these sessions, our goal is to really showcase to you how to put those proper controls in place. So what is our recommendation? So this is a very foundational recommendation that we are providing to people. Is where should you be storing your information? So I want you to take 3 things away. If you're talking about me and your files, utilize OneDrive to save your information, right? You're the owner of that file. You control those files, and you provide access to those files. If you're collaborating from a project perspective or externally collaborating, use Microsoft Teams, because that is the proper platform for you to use. And if you're creating a communication hub site or an intranet site or giving this information out to everybody which is relevant, then you want to utilize SharePoint for that central content management. So, and the reason I'm stating that, because at the heart of any AI, so once you have all of this data in there, the heart of everything that AI would do, and when you utilize Copilot, is going to be your data. So this is going to dictate your AI journey. So if your data is very well protected, well shared, then you can use the data properly. So the goal is put your data at the proper place, understand the tools that you want to use, and that will really enhance the journey that you would take from that perspective. This is a busy slide, but something that Isa said, right? Data is important. It's like peanut butter and jelly. Well, same thing with Copilot. If you do not have your data in Microsoft 365 and you have a Copilot license, you really would not be able to leverage that data. Because when you are using a prompt or creating a document, it is utilizing your data to give you the proper response. So you want to make sure that your data is present in that ecosystem. And then when you're utilizing Copilot, you're good because you're going to get better results. So, and that is the proper key. So over here, if you're a user and you're using any of these M365 tools, your data is stored in these repositories. And having this data in those repositories plus the LLM is going to give you the best results. So that is our guidance, because at the end of the day, this is a tool for you. This is just another tool in your tool bucket for you to do your job better and easier. I get hundreds of emails today, and I use Copilot to summarize a long thread that somebody has added me, and they think I know exactly what's going on. And they'll add me, and they'll say, oh my God, I'm going to do some CYA, and I'm going to add, and they also add my boss, and his boss, and their boss. So by the time the email gets to the boss's boss, that thread is 20 emails deep. So how can you utilize Copilot to summarize that information and catch up on things? So those are some tidbits of things that you can use in order for you to do your work. The next one is providing context, right? So let's say long before when GPS came out, if you just don't provide any context, you said, take me to Sally's house, right? GPS does not know where Sally's house is. If you provide an address, then it can take you the proper place. Same thing with Copilot. Providing the proper prompt and the proper context is super critical. So if I just say, write about our project, it does not know what project you're referring to. It's going to give you some very bad results. And then you'll say, oh my God, I really hate AI because it does not work for me. So don't use AI as search. It is not a bunch of keywords that you type in and say magically give you a proper result. So the goal is use a proper prompt. So if you use a detailed context with the rich context and say, hey, summarize these documents and attach the Q2 report and your meeting notes, and that data is sitting in M365 that you can reference, now you're getting the results much better, and you can utilize these tools. So make sure that as you're going through these sessions, attend a couple of sessions on prompt and see what is the best way of prompt. And we are also enabling you with different tools and really showing you how to use these prompts properly. The next thing I want to talk to you about, which is a big buzz, agents, 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 agents. Everybody wants to create an agent because they want to create an agent to solve a particular problem. So the good part about Microsoft 365 ecosystem is the guidance that we are saying to people is the journey starts with you, but can continue on. It doesn't matter what your persona is. So let's say you are a productivity person who just wants to create a chat agent using your files for a knowledge base. You can do that by using Microsoft 365 Copilot. But let's say you want to go that next step up. And you say, you know one thing, this is great, I can do this, but I really want to connect to my other systems. I want to connect to ServiceNow, maybe I want to connect to my knowledge repository, which is somewhere else, and I want to bring everything together as knowledge within an agent. But I am not a developer. I want to quickly develop a solution, less than 10 minutes, and put something out there. Then you're in the Copilot Studio state. But then the journey does not have to stop over there. If you are a power developer and you say, I really want to create this awesome solution, then you can jump up to the AI Foundry solution that Microsoft provides. So you will never run into a cliff. The journey has to continue. And that's what we are trying to provide guidance to all the users and saying, hey, start somewhere, start small, but you can always grow into something creating very enterprise grade. So take that in mind. And at the key is this. As you're going through these sessions, think about how Microsoft 365 Copilot can work in your life easier, work life easier, right? Because you can use Copilot, your personal edition in your home as well, but at your workplace, how can you use Copilot? How can you use Copilot to summarize emails? How can you use Copilot to write emails? How can you use Copilot to take a thread of information? Or how can you summarize information? Those are some use cases that would quickly start adding up time savings for you and really help you in this journey. So keep that in mind as we are going through this. I just have 2 more slides. Understand the tools. So I did not go through every different detailed tool, but there's a lot of tools available today. So I was traveling with my boss, Srini, and I was showing him a tool called Task. Well, and I said, oh, Srini, one thing, every time you want to assign me work, you can use the task. But one thing I forgot, that as soon as the plan landed, I already had 2 tasks in my thing. So be careful who you show the proper tool to, because as you use these tools and show these tools, you might create work for you. But the good part is it allows us to enhance that journey. So there's a lot of tools available. You have whiteboarding capability, you have visualization capability. There's a lot of capability. So as you go through these sessions, think about how you can use your tools and where does it fit the best. Use the proper tool for the proper use case. The next thing is, like Isa also mentioned, right? In order for you to start your journey, you have to start somewhere. It's not going to be perfect on day 1. So start a conversation with Copilot. Don't use keywords. Start somewhere. Solve something small, which is repetitive. Maybe there's a small business use case that you can solve very easily without spending a lot of time, and see where you want to take it. And I stole this from Jim at Microsoft. Remember that you are a pilot. It's your co-pilot, right? So you are in control. You are in control of your data. You can validate the information which is getting provided by Copilot as a result before you send your email, or you create a document, or you create a PowerPoint presentation. So you're always in control. You're in control of your data, and use the proper ethical practices, use the proper acceptable use policies that are defined for your organization and for your agency to utilize Copilot. But think of this as another tool in your bucket. And of course, I know for the future, eventually, we will get replaced. And, and these robots would collaborate with each other. So hopefully Microsoft can make that happen soon, and have these robots collaborating, and we will probably have another conference. Well, I would not be presenting, and you will not be here. It will be just. Well, thank you so much. That's all I had. Enjoy the Innovation Day. Thank you. We will have, this journey does not stop here. So please don't think this is the last session we are having. We will continue these collaboration sessions and help us take this journey forward. Thank you so much.